Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cigar Store Idiots. I'm Rob. Tonight I got with me Tyler.
How's it going, everybody?
Andrew's in the house.
Hello. Glad to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have y'all back. Hope everybody got a chance to take a listen to the 27 Club that we did last week. It's pretty interesting. Got some good feedback on it.
I got some good feedback on that.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
It was a good time. It was a little sad topic, but it was
Not a really upbeat talk, but
it was interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
So
You said something about doing a Johnny Cash one, and I got somebody saying he's got to do that Johnny Cash one.
no doubt, man. I'm telling you, the Johnny Cash. I could talk days about Johnny Cash. So.
Right.
Yeah, but I already did that last week. Also, too, our podcast has kind of turned into a drinking game. So if you hear me say yeah, take a shot. Because apparently I've been told I say yeah a whole lot.
Or
yeah.
me, I say that's right.
That's right.
That's
or,
right.
Yeah, and there's another one, but
y'all can go ahead and get one in for my ums.
Yeah, there's some ums. So you should be drunk the first 3 minutes in on this thing. So
which makes it all better.
Yeah, you will really enjoy it drunk. So, interesting. It's kind of cool. We just started. We're a month into this podcast world. And we've already got listeners, so I want to say hey to our folks in Ireland, Mexico, Sweden, Germany, Singapore, Brazil, and Greece. So
what about that?
It's pretty cool, man. I'm kind of excited about it. So we're getting there. We're taking over. What is it? Global worldwide.
That's right.
That's right. All right.
Prestige worldwide.
Prestige worldwide.
The Step Brothers.
That's right. We're the Step Brothers to the Step Brothers. So everybody's got kids, except for Tyler. At least that we know. We don't know that he has
that
kids.
we know of.
That we know of. So everybody's kids touches stuff, messes with stuff, always into stuff. So we went to Halloween City, or Party City.
Yeah.
Buying Halloween decorations for Halloween party. And we got 2 girls, 7 and 6, and they're fooling with everything, touching everything. And there's this really creepy doll. She's kind of sitting there, real creepy looking, and they kept messing with her. And I was like, don't touch that doll. And they look at me. And I was like, don't touch it. Seriously.
Of course they're going to go touch it.
They're still touching it. And I was like, don't you see this sign? It says, don't touch the doll. Okay. And I was like, if you keep touching the doll's going to follow us home. So they're like, yeah, whatever. So Tearaway Tina is the name of the doll. They went to another store beside it, and I bought the doll, and I brought it home. And I made sure that they were in another room.
But they didn't know you bought the doll.
They didn't know.
No.
They didn't know anything about Tearaway Tina. So we've got Tearaway Tina sitting on the mantle at the house, and they come in. Totally, it scares the total shit out of these 2 kids. They're terrified, like hyperventilating, scared to death. And I kept telling them, I was like, that's what happens when you do things and you don't listen. That's right. You know, you keep messing with stuff. I said, now this doll's followed us home, and I don't know how to get rid of it. It's here. And so our thing is, and of course, you know, mom's involved too. So I'm not the total mean person, the only mean person in the house.
Hey, do what you got to do.
Yeah. So we're gonna treat this like Elf on the Shelf. We're moving Tearaway Tina all around the house. She moved to the coffee bar this morning.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody saw her move yet. And when everybody's not afraid of Tearaway Tina anymore, I'll be sure to put some batteries in her.
The batteries are going in
Because she has a sensor, like a motion sensor on her, and I don't know what she does. I mean, and I'm telling you, if you go,
you really don't know. How have you not checked and see what it does?
If you go to our Instagram, Cigar Store Idiots 01, take a look at Tearaway Tina, or the kids have named her Sarah, so we'll see how that goes. Also, with a little care package that we got from Ray's Energy, Rep Sports, we're going to go ahead and sample 2 more drinks tonight. Tyler, what do we got down there?
All right, tonight we got sour gummy worm.
Yummy.
And we got Baja Lime
All
to
right.
wash that down with.
Wash that down with. And we're still looking for a vodka rep to get with us so we can actually make this a little bit more enjoyable.
You want to take that one?
Not saying that...
Tito's sponsorship would be unbelievable.
Yeah,
great.
we would love to have some Tito's vodka to put in this. All right, sour gummy. Andrew, got your cup there. All right. Oh, it's just like an old Sprite 7-Up commercial back in the day. Ha, ha, ha. Never heard it, never will.
Here, let me see that one.
All right, Tyler.
Just right off.
This is the sour gummy berry.
Sour gummy.
And remember, we do 4 stars here because I don't like odd numbers. So if it's 4 stars, it's good. 5 stars, we just don't do odd numbers. All right. Here, I'm going to treat you with that one.
So this is the lime one.
That is the Baja Lime. Okay. All right, sour gummy, I'm going first here. Everybody, good?
Okay.
That's a nice drink.
It's pretty. It tastes like gummy worms.
It tastes like gummy worms. It does. It tastes like a sour gummy worm. It's going to be a solid 3 for me, boys.
Yeah,
It's like
Three's good there.
it's like the green and the orange sour gummy worm.
It does taste
Yeah.
like a gummy worm.
Yeah, maybe a Sour Patch Kid.
Maybe.
Definitely need some vodka with it. I don't really
would be
drink.
good.
It's just making jokes.
All right.
All right, and then we're going to go to Baja Lime.
All right.
All right.
Clean the palate.
With a dirty shoe. Okay.
It's citrusy.
Citrusy.
I like the lime better.
I like the lime better
I'm going to
myself.
go with lime today.
I could drink the lime. I like on a regular. It's a solid 4, I think.
Solid 4.
That's a rookie score.
4 out of 4.
I'm going with a 3.2 on that one. 3.2.
All right.
All right. But so far, Voodoo's been my favorite. No, I'm sorry. Apollo.
Apollo.
Apollo was good.
Jam
Yep.
up. Bomb Pops. Tastes just like a bomb pop.
That's right. It's
All right.
good.
I like
Some-
the lime.
Yeah,
like the
it's
lime.
not bad.
I
It's
like
not
the
bad.
It is pretty good.
I like the lime.
All right. So
Not really guessing for flavors today, though. It's pretty clear on what it was.
It's very clear. It tastes like a gummy bear or worm or Sour Patch Kid, or the Baja Lime tastes like lime. It's citrusy. So
Tastes like lime.
Tito's, we need you. Somebody out there. Somebody knows somebody that sells vodka. Just wants to give us some. Okay. Without further ado, we want to introduce tonight's guest. Been waiting to get her on. Super busy schedule, and I'm glad you was able to squeeze us in. Lacee Landrum, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Hello, Miss Lacey.
Hello.
Lacee was
That's Miss Landrum.
it's
for
Miss
you.
Landrum to Tyler because
I was Tyler's teacher in 8th grade
In
Yes,
the
she
8th
was.
grade.
thank
The
God.
good old days.
Thank
when
God
he was a sweet little boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. And before he had a facial hair.
Yeah.
He looks like dude off the Big Lebowski now, so I always give him a hard time about it. So he's like, "Who's that?" And I showed him. He's like, "Oh, not
That,
really."
It looks nothing like me.
Yes, it does. He's full of crap. So Lacee, the reason we got you in here, of course, we want to talk to you because we like you. But October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we thought it's an opportune time for you to come in and sit with us and tell us your story. It's an amazing story. It's a lot of things in there that I had no idea about, and I know a lot of people kind of lean on you, have lots of questions for you, which I know could probably be exhausting, but it's so beneficial to a lot of people.
It can be. After a cancer diagnosis, it's kind of like when you have a baby. It's not about you anymore. It's
Right.
about, whatever else
Yeah.
they want to have questions about, which is totally fine because the more that we can educate women and get women to go and get their yearly checks and do what they need to do, the better chance we have at saving lives. And at the end, that's the goal for everybody.
Absolutely. So Lacee from Cedartown, Georgia.
Cedartown, Georgia.
She's a Cedartown Bulldog.
Cedar
Bulldog.
Vegas.
Cedar Vegas.
Yeah, Cedar Vegas. But I teach at Pepperell.
But she
so
teaches
I'm
it.
a
She's a dragon.
now.
So
Yeah.
you're in a room full of dragons.
Yeah.
Tyler kind of defected and went to model his senior,
right.
junior, senior year.
Yeah.
But
Junior year, yeah.
yeah. But so softball coach,
Softball coach,
got things
track
going on,
coach,
track coach.
Basketball coach at one point in time. That wasn't my best
Softball's your thing,
thing.
though.
Softball was my thing. I played softball all through high school, college. I played overseas in Holland.
Really?
Coached a team, yeah. When I was in Holland, I had the opportunity to coach a younger team, and we played in Italy. So I got to go do that.
Awesome.
Not one girl on my team, except for my friend's sister, spoke English. So trying to teach a team full of 12-year-old girls what I wanted them to do without speaking their language was
Man, that's tough.
We could do a whole
tough.
podcast just on the softball team.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, it was really
I mean, that's
cool.
fantastic. I
Yeah.
want to go
It was
down. I want to go
really,
down
really
that
cool.
road, but we got to stay on this road.
Yeah.
I know the friends listening in Germany. If you want me to come back over there, I mean, I'm available.
I mean, it is October.
I can come over.
It's
so
a
just,
prime time to be
just
there.
let me know.
Maybe we can get
Imagine-
Raz to fit the bill.
Yeah.
Send you back to Germany for a while.
Yeah,
Imagine there was a lot of smiling and head shaking.
There was
on that,
a
on
lot
that
of sign
field.
language.
Yeah.
Not correct.
Yeah.
But a lot of sign language and lots of smiles.
How does that
and-
even? But how does that even happen?
So when I was in college, my catcher, I was a pitcher. My catcher was from Rotterdam, Netherlands, which is Holland.
Okay.
And she and I just became best friends, and she basically became part of our family. Whenever I would come home from college, Denise would come with me. So if it was a, Thanksgiving break, fall break, whatever, Denise pretty much came home because plane tickets to the Netherlands are $1,800, $2,400. So she would wait and go home for Christmas break and summer break. Other than that, she pretty much came to Cedartown. So when she was a year ahead of me, so the year that she graduated, her parents offered to buy me a plane ticket to come visit them and see their side of the world after everything my family had done for her. Cool. So, of course, I was like, absolutely. Well, in Holland, they still do club like rec league sports, but for adults. So the team Denise's whole family played for found out I was a pitcher, so they asked me to pitch for them. So when I was over there, I got to pitch. Well, rocked on. I came back. It was a great time. Do what?
Out there padding your stats.
Yeah, padding my stats. I got to hit over there. In America, they never let pitchers hit, but they did over in Europe. Got over there, played, had a great time. Well, the coach reached out to me the next year to ask if I would like to come back and be their pitcher again. So the next summer, the team paid for me to come back over.
How great is that?
Got a bicycle, got a cool jacket, got a Metro card. I mean, I was like, professional.
That's
great.
But I got to travel around with Denise's family. Denise's younger sister played on a team that she helped coach, so that's kind of how I got in with doing that. Met some really, really cool people that I'm still in touch with. Thank God for social media, because we can, keep up with each other and everything. And still talk to Denise probably weekly or so, and her family, and I call them my Dutch mom and dad and sisters, and she has a brother, and it was just great. It was a cool experience.
Absolutely.
One that I'm very thankful for.
Did you have the coaching style that I had? Tyler says that it's when I give the death glare and talk through my teeth.
Yeah. Well, over there, they didn't know what I was saying, so I just smile and nod. I could have been mad. They didn't know.
And now I still carry that same death glare and clenched in my teeth, but it's not taken too serious anymore.
Well, over
It's
there
whatever,
too.
Dad.
So the kids there in school, they learn British English, which is totally different than what we speak in America, and especially different from what we speak in the South. So even Denise's sister, who was 11 at the time that I came, was very hesitant to talk to me because she knew her English wasn't what I was used to. So she would say, trousers or whatever, and I'll be like, what? And so one day, Denise's dad came home for lunch, and their school system is totally different than it is here. She was more like on a college schedule. So she would go in for certain classes, get to come home. Some days she would go in late, get off early. She always got to have to come lunch at home. And she came in, and me and her were sitting on the couch, and Britt and I were talking, and she was like, what do you call a paraplu? And I was like, like a pineapple, she was like, no, a paraplu. And I was like, a parachute, I had no idea. Well, her dad walked in at the same time, and Renee, he is fluent in multiple languages, and he's a very, very smart man.
Thank God.
And and he came in and he said, she means umbrella.
Oh.
So that was their word for umbrella.
Yeah.
And the other one was ananas. Did I want any ananas? And I was like, don't think so. No, not something I think I'm going to try. And she was like, are you sure? Like, it's fresh ananas. I was like, nope. No, don't think that's my thing. It was pineapple. Pineapple.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was really cool to me, just those few little things. We went shopping at the grocery store. And there, they typically go to the grocery store daily for whatever they need, because their fridges and stuff and freezers aren't like ours here. And they're very small. Everything's super fresh. And I was like, do we need a buggy? And they were like, what? I was like, a buggy? And they were like, a shopping cart? And I was like,
one of those.
Yeah,
we get a buggy in Cedartown.
If you go to the Midwest, and I worked on the road again, up in the Midwest, and if you said buggy, they looked at you like you were from outer space. Something like, you mean a cart? And I was like, no, man, I mean a buggy. Buggy.
But it was a really cool experience. We rode our bicycles everywhere that we went. The first night that I ever went out, we went out with a group of Denise's friends, and there was another American girl there pitching for a different team, and she and I kind of made friends because everybody else is speaking Dutch, so she and I kind of hit it off. And we were on the way back, and she had drank entirely too much. And in Holland, there's canals everywhere. Well, there's also the tram tracks, where your bicycle tire width is the same width as the tram track,
Oh.
and she got stuck,
no.
fell off, and rolled down into this canal
Oh my
at like
God.
3 a.m. and everybody's laughing, and I'm like, please God, don't let me be the next American for them to laugh at here.
Right.
And I remember calling my mom the next day and saying, you do not have to worry about me getting just drunk over here because
Yeah.
I'm too worried about the drive home.
Yeah.
Not even the
No,
drive home,
yeah.
the ride home.
Yeah.
The bicycle.
Because you
can-
ride your bicycle everywhere.
You're going to get hit by a train or
Yeah.
drown.
Yes,
So
you're going to
you
either
can-
go in the
God.
dam or you're going to get hit by the tram.
We're not even
or,
worried about a DUI.
Yeah, no.
We're about imminent death.
Yes, I'm just worried about getting to and from. And not only that, it was like a 45-minute bicycle ride. So it wasn't like it was just around the corner.
That's
So,
treacherous.
yeah. 2
So you were
a.m.
sobered up by the time you get back home.
By
with
the
a
time you get
45
home,
minute-
you're good to go. You're
Right.
ready for round 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. It was definitely a good experience,
That's
and I'm
awesome.
very thankful for it. And if anybody ever has that opportunity, they should take it up and just see how people live in other parts of our world.
Yeah.
Cleaner.
So what got you into teaching?
What got me into teaching? I wanted to coach.
Okay. That
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
I wanted to coach, and that was the easiest way I could do it and get paid for it.
Yeah.
So I started out. I started out actually as a parapro because there wasn't any teaching jobs available, and I coached softball, basketball, and track at Washington Wilkes Middle School over in Wilkes County by Athens.
Okay.
And then my dad passed away in 2014, and my grandfather passed away in February of 2015. So I decided to move back home, and was fortunate enough to get an interview with Becky McCoy at Pepperell Middle School, and she hired me. And from there, I coached softball and track, softball at the high school, and then track at the middle school for Pepperell.
So with you being the softball coach at Pepperell, how did you, playing international ball, playing in college, and you're coaching high school softball.
High school girls.
So of course your coaching style is geared towards older, an older group of people. How did that go? How's
I
the
had to
transition
remind
there?
myself sometimes that they are 14, 15, 16-year-old girls, and I was once a 14, 15, 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
But I was very honest with my girls, and I feel like I built a good relationship with them. I mostly worked with our pitchers. Coach Rickman, he pretty much handled the rest and just
Yeah.
let me deal with the pitchers and the catchers. But I made a good relationship with them, and we had a very honest relationship. So I would tell them, it's not looking so good today,
Yeah.
or this was a great day, or, we need to work on this or do that. But I did. I had to remind myself that they are just young kids in high school. I was there
Yeah.
one time too, but
The best coaches, in my opinion, the best coaches are the honest coaches.
Yeah.
So that's where you're going to get the the most out of the kid and
yeah,
again, build that
you
relationship.
can't make them want to do it. You got to have internal motivation.
You're exactly
and if you
right.
don't have that, then there's nothing I pour into you can make you give me more
Yeah.
if you don't want to. So you got to find that internal motivation and then go from there.
Okay. I want to
Are you still teaching?
Currently, I'm not.
Okay.
Since I was diagnosed,
I gotcha.
I have been out to do all of my treatment.
Right.
Okay.
So hopefully, whenever I finish all of my treatment and surgery and all that good stuff, I'll go back.
Gotcha.
Where is the middle school? Like, where are they doing that now? Because they demoed it.
Yeah, so right now, Pepperell Middle is 6th and 7th grade, and it is at the old McHenry School.
Okay.
And the 8th graders
It's
are
high
at
school
the
now.
high school,
Yeah.
and they're rebuilding Pepperell Middle School. And hopefully it should be opening.
So is 8th grade considered high school now?
I think so, yeah.
That's really weird.
It is
Yeah.
just strange.
I'm
to
glad
me,
I got
too.
out of there before things got weird.
Yeah.
That's what they
I do
do.
know they have their own hall, and they kind of
Right.
stay on.
Yeah, they're like
their-
separated from
Yeah.
everybody else.
That's what they did at Model this year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think I think the plan is to do it across the county.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
To move 8th graders up, but
All right.
We'll see.
We're going to fast forward just a little bit.
Okay.
So when was it you thought something may be wrong?
So, my son was born on July 26, 2018. Fast forward from there to April, and I had found a lump in my breast. And at at the time, didn't have a primary care doctor because I don't get sick, don't go to the doctor.
First, how old are you at this point?
At this point, I'm 29.
29.
29 years old. Don't have a primary care doctor. If I'm ever sick, I just run to the urgent care.
Yeah, same here.
Besides having kidney stones, and when I was when I was pregnant, going to get checkups for Emmett, never really went to the doctor.
Just down some NyQuil and we're good to go.
Just sleep a few days, you're good to go.
Yeah.
So I went back to my OBGYN because I had found a lump in my breast. Because I was 29 and I was 9 months postpartum, she felt that the lump was just a cyst, which is common in women at that age. Also common for women who are postpartum with their hormones are chilling back out after having a baby, and all that good stuff.
So a cyst would just be harmless.
Most cysts are just harmless. They're not cancerous. They can be painful and they can be taken out, but they're not cancerous.
Okay.
And so my aunt and my mom actually have fibroid cyst disorder, which is where women develop cysts in their breast, but it's not cancer, nothing to worry about kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But I do have a strong family history of breast cancer. My aunt was diagnosed at 45. My cousin was diagnosed at 34. She was actually the first rapid diagnosis at the Floyd Breast Center, Kelly McKelvey.
Okay.
So is that hereditary?
Well, at this point, they tell me, no, don't worry about it. Come back if it continues to bother you. So I say, okay. I leave there, track on, finish the school year. We go to the beach with Brett's family. And then our family went to Colorado for vacation. At this point, Emmett is 11 months old, and he is in that wallowing phase where he can't really walk, doesn't want to crawl, doesn't want to be held, you know. So,
it's a wiggle worm.
Yes, just constant. And he hit me one day, and I told Brett, I remember vividly looking at Brett and saying, if he hits me one more time in my boob, I'm going to throw him across this room because it had gotten so painful.
Yeah.
So when I got back home, I did a self-breast exam and I found a second lump. So at that point, I told Brett, I said, I'm not going back to that doctor. I said, I'm going to just find somewhere else to go. So I reached out to my cousin Kelly and I asked her, do you have to have a referral to go to the breast center at Floyd? Like I said, don't go to the doctor.
Sure.
Didn't know how that worked. She said, no, you can just call and make an appointment. So I called, made my appointment with them, told them what was going on. They got me in the next morning at 8:30. Came in, first I did a family history. The doctor, it was a nurse practitioner, LaDonna, hadn't even touched me at this point. And she said, you're at like an 80% risk of developing breast cancer in your lifetime based off of your family history.
Really?
I said, okay. So she does a breast exam, does my right breast, everything feels great, gets to my left breast, and she says, I don't like what I feel, you're going for a mammogram. Well, at this point, I'm 30, and I was like, okay. So we go do the mammogram, and then the mammogram girl comes back in and says, they want you to have an ultrasound. Well, at this point, I knew. I just had an internal feeling, so I lost it, crying, you know. Luckily, the mammogram tech and the ultrasound tech were sisters, so they babied me. I mean, they took me under their wing that day. I was by myself, had not told a single person I was going to the doctor. They called my Aunt Robin and told her to please come next door because at this point, high voltage was across the street, so she could get there. She called my mom and Brett, you know, and so they were all there by the time it was done. But I had a mammogram, ultrasound, 2 biopsies, and then another mammogram. I was there for like 4 hours, and they told us, come back tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So the next day at 3 o'clock, we go, walk in, sit down, and the nurse practitioner comes in and says, you have breast cancer. After that, I don't really remember much of that appointment. I remember asking her, would I see my son graduate? And I remember her looking me dead in my eyes and say, absolutely, breast cancer is not a death sentence. You can fight this. You can overcome this. But you are stage 3, so your treatment is going to be very aggressive.
Yeah.
You're looking at chemotherapy, radiation, and more than likely a double mastectomy. everything after that is a blur to me. Couldn't really tell you. My mom was there, Kelly was there, and Brett was there. Kelly's asking all the questions because she's been there. Set me up with her oncologist, who is now my oncologist, her surgeon, who put my port in. Got all those details worked out, and I basically went home and I laid in the bed for 3 days, cried, couldn't tell you where my kid was, couldn't tell you where anything was. All I did was lay in the bed and cry, and didn't want nobody around me, just leave me alone. Kelly reached out to me and told me, absolutely take your time, but you need to set a time frame, and once that's done, put your big girl panties on, and it's time to deal with it. We're not just going to sit here and wallow. You've got a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Because this is 2 weeks before Emmett's first birthday.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So after that, I gave myself those 3 days, and then after that, I just decided I was not going to be the victim, that I was going to do what I had to do. And one of the big things that I think changed for me was I changed my prayer from why me to use me. And I can't tell you the amount of peace that I found just by doing that. And just decided from there that it would be my goal to not only beat the cancer, but to educate and advocate for as many women as I possibly could throughout my journey. So that's kind of how it all started.
I think that I think there's just so much unknown, especially with younger females. It's such a.
Well, I think that younger people just think it can't happen.
Yeah,
to me.
you're gonna live forever. You don't think about things like that. Yeah.
No, I think older people think that too.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not
going to
be
happen to
me.
me.
Yeah, I mean, I had everything going for me. I had a precious little boy that was about to be 1.
Who loves mashed potatoes? By the way,
he loves mashed potatoes.
I do too. I do too.
No.
I had a great 13-year-old son who was a perfect student, perfect older brother. Couldn't ask more from him. I have a fiance. I had my mom. I had literally everything going for me that I possibly could. Like, there's no way this is going to affect me, but it did. It didn't discriminate. And so the thing about breast cancer is typically breast cancer is hormonal. So when they test your biopsies, they're looking at your HER2, I can't say this word, progesterone and estrogen. Okay. Usually some of those are positive. It might be some positive, some negative, whatever. Those are the people who can take the oral chemo that you hear about. People will do, surgery, oral chemo. They don't lose their hair, that kind of thing.
And how does oral chemo take place?
Well, this type of cancer is hormone driven. Mm-hmm. So if you take the oral chemo, it's just like a pill.
Right.
You just take it and it kind of keeps those hormones balanced and then checked and keeps them from overdriving to create the cancer. Mm-hmm. My type of cancer was triple negative. So it was not hormone fed.
Okay.
So the thing about triple negative cancer is it is typically more aggressive. It is typically has a higher recurrence rate, and it typically affects younger women.
Okay.
So when they said they were going to do an aggressive fight on it, so did that mean more days or more medicine?
Both.
All right,
so,
I guess explain that.
Yeah. So when I initially went to, I'm trying to think who I went to first. The surgeon. Went to my surgeon first. Walked in, and I had in my head I was going to have surgery, chemo, radiation, just because I thought that was the process. Mm-hmm. We walk in to see him, and he says, no, you're having chemo, surgery, radiation. And so it kind of took me aback because I was like, why do I need chemo first? And I was getting the strongest doses of the chemo, 16 treatments, 20 weeks worth, a lot.
20 weeks is a long time.
Yeah. And so he tells us that, and he says the reason is I had 2 large tumors that are considered grade 3. We want to see how much we can get them to shrink before we do surgery. You will have a better outcome if that's what we do. So I said, great. So then I want to say it was like 2-3 days later, the oncologist had a cancellation, so they were able to work me in faster. So we go meet her. And I love my surgeon, Dr. Mayfield, and my oncologist, Dr. Dillman. She says there is a trial through the American Cancer Society where we can add a new chemo drug to your regimen. You won't know if you're getting it or if you're getting the placebo. But the evidence is showing that it is helping lower the chance of recurrence in patients. The only thing is you have to have surgery first. So after I had in my head I was going to do surgery, chemo, radiation, then I went to the surgeon and he said, no, you're doing chemo, surgery, radiation. Now I'm back at the oncologist and she says, in order to do this trial, you need to do surgery, chemo, radiation. Right. So it was like a whirlwind in 7 days.
But you had a decision to make.
So I had a decision to make and ask her what she would do. And she said, if it was me, I would do the trial. And I said, okay. So had my mind set on that. Well, she calls me that afternoon. And in Rome, they do a Friday roundtable meeting where they have oncologists and surgeons and different people from around here that meet over cases, and they discuss them, and they, as a team, decide what is going to be best for this patient. So Dr. Mayfield ended up calling me after the Friday round. I knew they were going to talk about me there. And he called me after, and he said, we really just feel like the chemo first is going to be your best option in getting all of this and being done. And his wife was going through breast cancer at the same time. And I said, what would you do if your wife was in my situation? And he said, I would tell her the exact same thing I'm telling you. So I said, okay. So I decided then I would start chemo first, then do surgery, then do radiation. So we planned to have a Metaport. We had it put in on August 6th. I started chemo August 8th. I met with Dr. Dillman the week after my first chemo to see how it went, see how sick it made me, if we needed to kind of tone it down, what did we need to do to kind of alternate it. And she had reached out to the drug company and kind of told them my situation, and they offered me the drug anyways. Wow, so nice. I ended up getting the extra drug anyways. Yeah.
So everybody's body reacts different to the chemo, right?
Everybody works out differently. It can totally shrink it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, unfortunately, it can make the tumors grow.
So there's not just one way. There's not one cure-all. It's everybody's body's different.
Everybody's different in how you're going to handle it. Now, as far as chemo goes, I was very fortunate. I never got sick.
Really?
I was about to ask how...
I never got sick. I was extremely tired, like could not walk from our bedroom to the couch sometimes. But thankfully, our village stepped in and stepped up and helped with the boys and, doing all of that kind of stuff.
And then just knowing you guys, personally, Emmett is he is a wild Indian.
He's Tarzan.
He is.
He's Tarzan. He's like raised by wolves. We really don't know where he came from.
He's awesome, but but I can imagine. I know, anybody that's had children at that age, they take a lot out of you just because they're a constant need, and so it's
and
good.
So when I would have chemo, I started out my every other week chemos were called Red Devils. And it's literally called that because it's red when they push it in you, and it typically makes you very sick. It's very potent. Brett and I couldn't even use the same bathroom for up to 48 hours after I had treatment.
Oh, wow.
Our dog couldn't go in that bathroom in case he were to drink out of the toilet because
it's just so potent.
It's just so potent.
Wow.
Man. And what exactly is chemo? Like, what is the treatment? What's the process that takes place?
So when I had my chemo for Red Devils, I would go in. They would hook me up. We'd go in the treatment room. I would always get a bag of fluids,
Right.
And then I would get Benadryl, and I would get something for nausea. And I also had pills that I had to take before I came. Mm-hmm. And basically what that did is knocks you out so that you don't get sick.
So it goes in through an IV?
Well, I have a port.
Okay.
Get here.
Gotcha.
It's got the three little buttons.
Yeah.
I see that.
Right there.
Okay.
And so they stick the port in there, and that way they don't have to stick an IV each time.
Right.
Gotcha.
So they just stick it right here, and they hook you up to a bag, and They just
You just chill out for a little while.
You just chill.
Man.
So my first few chemos were like 6 hours.
Holy cow.
So we would go to Chick-fil-A, and then we would go there, and I would have my chemo, and then I would go home and sleep for about 3 days.
Yeah.
You were awake during that whole 6 hours?
No, I'd go to
No,
sleep.
yeah.
Yeah. They'd give me a warm blanket and a bottle of water, and
Right.
I was asleep.
So you never got sick. You just got tired.
I never got sick.
But
I got very tired. Most
part of
That's
it.
rare, right?
Yeah, most
That's
people
ideal.
get really, really sick during the Red Devil. There was another lady that was going through treatment at the same time I was, and she had a terrible, terrible time. Like, I would feel bad having to look at her
Yeah.
because she was so sick, and everybody just reacts differently.
Right.
But I never got sick. So then after my 4 Red Devils, I started weekly chemotherapy, and we swapped to Mondays.
And the Red Devils are like really potent, right?
They're really
Like,
potent. They're the worst.
That's what you start off with?
Yeah, that's what you start off
Really?
or that's what I started off with.
Okay. That's weird because usually when you're coming into something, you go small and then you go higher. But
well, I think they do that because your immune system is at its highest at that point because
Right.
each one
Yes.
you do, it just knocks you down.
yeah.
So then I started my weekly chemotherapies, and it was Taxol, and then every third treatment I had carboplatin, which is the other drug, added in. So those were only like 3.5, 4 hours.
And
They
that's
weren't
the
as
new
bad.
stuff?
That was the new
Okay.
stuff, yeah. And I didn't get sick from them either. I just got really tired.
Right.
And then as I rocked on with those, it can make your white counts kind of drop, your white blood counts.
Right.
And it did that to me. So there was twice that I wasn't able to get
to back
treatment
off.
that week, and I had to get shots that helped my bone marrow produce more white blood cells,
Right.
and then come back the next week
Man,
and get treatment.
so many pieces to the puzzle.
There he is. Lots of drives to Rome.
Yeah.
How much education is out there for, somebody that goes through this? I mean, is it like pulling teeth to find it's probably the people that you actually get connected to that help you through this process.
Well, at the cancer center here at Harbin, they're fantastic.
Okay.
When you start after you're diagnosed and you have your plan in place, you have an education day, and you go in and you meet with the financial counselor, you meet with a social worker, and you meet with one of your nurses. So how they have it set up at Harbin Cancer Center is you're either on team A or team B. So I had these 3 wonderful angel nurses my entire time. Even now with my infusion, I only have those 3 nurses. So they get to know me, they get to know your family. And so they're honestly there for you every single week. So they get to know you pretty well, and you get to know them pretty well.
Right.
The social worker there is fantastic. She comes in and checks on you and makes sure everything's okay. The financial lady, she helps you with getting grants or credits, or getting the drugs for free for you, whatever your insurance doesn't pay, that kind of stuff. So they've been fantastic over there.
I think it's pretty great that they keep the same group of people around you the entire time
Right.
instead of shuffling in different faces and
Yeah.
having to read.
Now there may be an
it's
occasional
pretty
where they
great.
have somebody has to sub in, or you
Yeah.
have to go sit. Like I've had to go sit on the B team side before because they were overflowed on the A team side. But I'm an easy day. I'm an easy stick. They know I'm not going to have a reaction. They know I'm just going to sit there and get my stuff and be done. So I totally understand that versus somebody who needs to be watched,
Sure.
may get sick, may need some extra assistance, whatever.
So people actually get sick during.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. That's not good at all.
Yeah. People get sick during a lot of,
Are
most
you
people
pretty
that,
much like immobilized when you're...
no, it's basically like a big room
Yeah.
with recliners and separators in it, and then you're just in your recliner.
I gotcha.
But there are like bathrooms and stuff back there, so if you can get sick, you can go back there. But most people who are actually getting their infusions are asleep.
Oh, okay.
They typically give you Benadryl and something for nausea.
Yeah.
So I pretty much slept always through mine.
Well, I guess the next question I got for you is where you at right now with everything.
So I finished up my last chemo on January 11th of 2020. It was 2 weeks later than we originally thought, but I had to be pushed back 2 different times because of my white blood counts. And so I finished all 4 rounds of Red Devil and then 12 rounds of Taxol carboplatin. In that time, my oncologist also found an immunotherapy called Keytruda, where a study had been done in Europe that showed the Keytruda immunotherapy also helps with recurrence, and asked if I was interested in it, which of course I said yes. My insurance instantly approved it. So also when I was getting my carboplatin every 3 weeks, I started getting Keytruda every 3 weeks as well.
Okay. And what is that?
It's an immunotherapy.
Okay.
So it's easier on your body than chemotherapy.
Yeah.
And what it does is it trains your cells to fight the cancer.
Gotcha.
Instead of the chemo being basically a poison being put in you to fight it, this is training your cells to attack a cancer cell.
It's just like reprogramming them,
Kinda.
so to say.
Yeah, pretty much. So I still do that every 3 weeks, and I'll do that through the remainder of this year.
And no side effects from that? You feel pretty good after that?
I feel pretty good. I'm tired, and I have some joint pain from it, but that's common. But I'm not sick.
And you're still you're still hooked important. Up on your port thing there?
Yeah, okay. They do it through my port every 3 weeks.
Right.
And some people choose not to get a port and get an IV every time.
Oh, no way. I would do the port.
You'd be all bruised up.
Yeah, but I do the port. It's easy. It doesn't hurt. They spray it with this cold stuff and stick the little needle in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel anything. I'm not trying to get stuck
No
every
way.
3
It's
weeks.
not like it
It's
leaves a
IV.
nasty
It's the
scar or
worst.
anything.
No, I have like a tiny little scar,
Right.
and then once I've been cancer-free 5 years, I'll have my port removed.
Right.
Some people go ahead and do it as soon as they're done, but I just feel
Just
like
to be safe.
why not keep it
Sure.
just
Yeah.
in case
Yeah.
instead of having to go through that surgery
Safe
again.
than sorry.
So, finished chemo January 11th, had my bilateral mastectomy and immediate reconstruction February 10th at Piedmont Hospital. Stayed there for 2 days, came home, had a great recovery. I did have to do radiation. I did 28 rounds of radiation here back at the cancer center. And finished that in May-ish, into middle May. And then had my first scan since my original scans. And as of June 5th, I was cancer-free.
Awesome.
But still continuing my Keytruda. And then
For preventative measures,
yes,
right?
basically, it's called maintenance.
Okay, I gotcha.
So continuing with that, started having my tissue expansions done in June. And right now I'm just continuing my Keytruda, and I will have my tissue expanders taken out and my implants put in November 18th.
Awesome. Gotcha. Well, I'll tell you,
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
I was so aggravated because I was supposed to be there the day you got to ring the bell, and I had an adjuster meeting. The guy had called at the last minute, and I had to go. And Robin's like, "We're at the hospital. We're at the cancer center." And I was like, "Damn it, I can't come." I was like, "I've got to go."
Had like
I was on the other side of
70
town.
people showed up to see me ring the
It was
bell.
so great.
They were like, "What?" Like they had no protocol on what to do to go back there, but it was really cool to get to do that and have all my friends and family, and several of my coworkers from payroll were able to sneak away and come watch me. So that was pretty cool.
I could only think about if we were dealing with the COVID virus and you got to ring the bell. I think they probably would have had to call a SWAT team to drag the people away.
Yeah, I don't know what
would
they
have
would
stormed
have
the building.
I don't know what they would have
There's
done.
no way it would have.
Or if all this was going on last year, they're real strict about visitors and stuff. And, I didn't go to an appointment without my mama.
No,
my mama did not
that's right.
miss anything.
No.
And so I don't know.
I would like to see somebody tell your
who
mama
was going to tell her she couldn't
Nobody was
come,
gonna
but it
tell
wasn't
her.
going to be me.
No, nobody. That wouldn't have worked.
Speaking of COVID, if you happen to go to the new Panda Express in Rome, you better bring your mask, or you're going to be sent to the drive-thru and or home.
Yeah, we got kicked out of the Panda Express today because we wouldn't wear a mask.
Yeah.
So
Lord.
Rome, Georgia.
And the worst part is we were literally in line, like picking our food.
About to pick our food.
Yeah. Like they were going to make a sale, going to make some money, send us home.
I'll just go to Calhoun.
That's right.
Or Bluefin. So
I don't know. I'm not that butthurt about it. I'll still go to Panda Express and I'll bring my mask.
Just don't tell me about it.
Just not today.
Yeah.
Just don't tell me
today.
about it. You should wear our Three Rivers roofing mask in there when you go in.
That's
there.
right. Yeah.
And then throw it at the manager. And I'm just kidding. Don't really do that. We're really nice people. Don't do that.
Sometimes.
So
There went the Panda Express. Express.
We are not pumping Panda Express. Sorry. You can't even. There's not enough free orange chicken on the thing to make me change my mind about it.
Sponsorship there. Okay,
it's okay. It's all right. Let me ask you. I want to know about Lacee's Law. Tell me how that all came about.
So Lacee's Law started because after I was diagnosed, I was really, really, really angry at the first doctor I went to in April.
Yes.
I felt like she just kind of brushed me off because of my age and didn't take me seriously, even though I had a family history. And the thing about triple negative breast cancer is it doubles in size in 60 days. So this is a lot of what ifs, and you can't live your life on what ifs, but had she sent me that day, I could have been stage 1, stage 2 versus stage 3, almost stage 4. Which treatment plans, everything's totally different.
It's life changing.
So I had a lot of anger about that.
Yeah.
And a good friend of mine is Trey Kelly, happens to be our state representative. And I ran into him at Zorba's. We were picking up food or paying or something. And he was in there, and, he let me know he and Amy were praying for me. And if they could do anything, let me know. And I said, there is something you can do for me, but I'll call you later, So a few days went by, and I called Trey, and I said, this is what you can do. You can help me. I don't know what we can do about it, but the age at this time to be able to get a mammogram, if you're considered high risk, which I was 35. I said, we need to get that lowered. He said, okay, let me work on it. So I got him set up with meetings with the nurse practitioner that told me I had cancer, my oncologist, and I think he met with another nurse practitioner in Rome at the cancer center, and he met with some of the women in the house who are also doctors or legislators or that type of thing for women's health care, and found that there was a need for that to be lowered. So Trey went to work as far as doing the hard work, writing the bill out, making sure that the legislative end of it was going to hold up, and how all that goes way above my head. He would call and ask me, hey, what do you think about this? Or how do you feel about this? Or do you think this would have made a difference? Or, whatever. And we would have conversations, and then he'd go to work again. And in December last year, he let me know that it was done. It had passed committee, and that it was going to go on the floor in January. So when they went back in session this January, we actually got to go in March and watch it be presented to the House floor, and it was unanimously voted through.
Yeah.
Which was awesome
experience. It was awesome
to get to go and do that. But then COVID hit, and everything kind of shut down. Their session got suspended, so we didn't really know what was going to happen as far as when they came back in session, if they were only going to vote on like budget stuff, or if they were going to actually take bills and vote on them, that kind of thing. And Trey worked his magic and got it to go in front of the Senate, and we didn't get to go because of COVID. But it passed the Senate unanimously as well, so we got to watch that live stream kind of thing. So that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then Governor Kemp actually signed it into law on August 5th. And me and my mom and Brett got to go to the Capitol and see him sign it.
That's great. That's
into
cool.
law. So it was really cool. So basically what Lacee's Law does is anybody that's on the state health benefit plan. So that means teachers, health department workers, whoever works, DFACS workers,
Right.
probation officers, anybody that's on the state health benefit plan. Now, if you are considered high risk, can get a mammogram at 30. And that goes into effect January 1st. Once we get 2 years of data that shows this has been able to detect breast cancer earlier in women, we will be able to open it up to all insurances.
That'll be great.
But it was just easier.
And that's a huge start.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. Because at first I was like, no, I'm not doing this, and only offering it to, select people. And Trey had to explain it to me and say, no, we got to start small. A small step makes big changes. So
And hands down, it should be that way nationwide. I mean, for every female.
So hopefully, it'll show the data that it needs to.
I think it will.
And they have to report it back to the committee. And so they'll be the ones keeping up with it. And hopefully it'll be done. And in 2 years, we'll be able to open it up to everybody because, early detection saves lives.
Yes, it does.
The difference in having stage 1 cancer compared to my 2 tumors that were 7 centimeters and 10 centimeters are tremendously different.
Right.
So hopefully it'll help somebody. If it helps somebody, then it's worth it.
If it saves one life.
Yeah. If it saves one life, then it's but the cool thing, this is cool, not cool. So my mom's friend was diagnosed with breast cancer a few weeks after the law was passed, or Governor Kemp signed the law. Well, her daughter works for George Highlands, which is a state health benefit plan. She will be turning 30 in the spring, so she will actually get to have her mammogram at 30. And it's not necessarily just a mammogram. If your doctor decides that it needs to be an ultrasound or an MRI or something else, any of those are fine. But it's just any test that your doctor determines, because sometimes women's breasts that are younger, mammogram's not the best way to do it. But it just opened it up to be able to even do that for younger women, because mine, they said, when you need a mammogram, but if it's not cancerous, you'll have to pay for it. Or what are you going to say? Yeah. Okay. Well, never mind. Yeah.
Well, and here's
put me on a payment plan, I guess.
Here's the thing. I think that may deter some women that are not able to do it. If they have to come out of pocket for it, they're not going to do it.
Well, because the chances of them actually having breast cancer at that age is low anyway.
Yes.
So they're playing the odds.
That's right.
Which sometimes is not going to play in their favor.
Right, absolutely. But like that day, they weren't angry. They weren't rude to me about it. It was just matter of fact. Your insurance isn't going to cover it unless it turns out to be cancer. Well, that's fine. Do what you got to do because I need to know.
Right.
Just for my peace of mind, I need to know.
Safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I have to pay for it.
Yeah. If you come and tell me I have a $3,500 bill, that's much better than the hundreds of thousands of dollars my chemo, was. So, but yeah. So that's how Lacee's all started.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you for that, for sure.
It's House Bill 1125. Go look it up.
Let me ask you, during this whole process, and I know you're talking about the village.
Yeah, we have a big one.
Man, I know I know a lot of your people. So
you do know,
So
maybe too many of them.
But the thing is, who are not the main, because I can't really put it that way. Every single person is important. Can you kind of go into your support group and the things that people where we're at?
Well, hands down, my mom.
Yeah.
She's done for me before I even think about needing it done. When I would have chemo, after chemo, I would have 3 of the big bottles of Smart Water by my bed with this needs to be drank by the time I get home at 5 o'clock. And if it's not, I'm 30 years old, Trail, but that's how it was. I would have chemo, and Emmett would spend the night with her. Usually 2 nights, sometimes 3 nights, depending on how I felt. Now, I also live about, 30 yards?
Yeah.
From door to door. So it wasn't like he was going across, the county to go stay anywhere. So hands down her. Brett has been amazing. He's helped get the boys to and from. There's literally been some days where I can't even get up and down our steps. Or I just need a nap, or I just need them to be away from me, for a minute. Yeah. So he always will get the boys. My cousin Holly, she's the ER nurse. So anything I've had going on, drains, I need a bath, I need you to come give me this medicine. What can I do for this? She's an ER nurse. So she's like my personal ER nurse. She just does whatever I need. Drives me to appointments. Brett's family helped with Emmett. My Aunt Karen, she's retired, and so she keeps Emmett 90% of the time if I don't have him. And her sister Melissa helps too. They would keep him. They would come give him a bath, just because I couldn't bend over in the bathtub to give him a bath. Or he would spend the night, do whatever. I mean, whatever we needed. I never had to worry about my kids going without, because somebody was going to make sure they had it. Robin and Jeff would get Braden to go with Owen, you know, to go do whatever they were doing, or, you know, however, whatever them boys do. I try to stay out of it. Whatever they do. Brett's sister, Tori, she, you know, my hair was super long, like halfway down my back, and I told her we're cutting it off, and she's like, okay. She's a hairdresser. I'm like, I'm coming at 12. You know, she's like, okay. So we come, cut it off. The next week, I call her, we're cutting it off again. Okay, be here at this. And then she's like, you want to dye it pink? So we dyed my hair like hot pink. It was crazy. Then I had a head shaving party. Tori came, shaved my head. But we left it kind of like a buzz cut, I guess is what you call it. But then the morning I woke up and my hair was coming out, I called Tori and I was like, it's got to go. And so I came up there and she like straight shaved my head, you know, anything that I needed regarding my hair in those first month and a half. Tori absolutely 100%, all I had to do was call and be like, we're doing this today. And she never questioned me. Okay, that's what we're going to do. You know, she's the one that put together that Booby Bazaar that we had last year. That was the fundraiser for breast cancer awareness. And she's been great. Brett's mom and dad and sisters, brother and his wife, they all helped so much with all of that and getting all of that going. And that took a lot of work in a short amount of time. So, yeah, our families and our friends, my friend Jolie, she would show up just to give him a bath or just hang out for a little while. My friend Christy, that I met through cancer, she was diagnosed after me. So she and I linked up and have actually become really good friends now. She would take me to chemo because she had her bilateral mastectomy, so she was out of work. So she would take me to chemo so Mom didn't have to take off work to go. Or Holly would take me, Brett would take me, you know, whoever would go. I slept on everybody, so it was whatever. My friend Rebecca, Miss Crimes, that I taught with, she sent me a card every week.
She is hands down one of my favorite teachers ever. Like she was the best.
She always was making sure I had what I needed. If I even said I might need this, I saw this really cool thing on Amazon because I love to read, but I was having a hard time holding my book up after my surgery. So she ordered me this really cool thing that I could prop my book up on, so you know, and she was like, have you got a package to your house yet? So Rebecca's hands down, you know, she's been everything.
Andrew, did you have Miss Crimes? Was you on the other team or did you have her?
Man, I know the name. I'm ashamed, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, so. It was her first year teaching, I believe, and we were in the 7th grade.
Man,
social
I wish
studies.
I could put a face to it.
She was
kind of one of my mentor teachers when I started at Pepperell.
I think I did because I know the name.
Yeah. She retired.
What did she teach?
Social studies.
Even when we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I roped her into doing my maternity leave, which was math. So she was not a fan of me for those 6 weeks that she did my maternity leave. But she has came and picked me up and took me and, you know, done whatever. And there's too many people to even name.
Miss Crimes is one of my favorites for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tyler.
You can't beat her.
When Tyler's like, I had Miss Crimes. I was like, no way. It's like, she's awesome.
Now I'm going to break out my yearbook when this is over.
Yeah, you'll have to.
I will, because I know the name.
Miss Crimes, if you're listening to this, just remember, Andrew Maddox.
Well, you have to remember Miss Crimes.
I'm having lunch with her Wednesday, so maybe she'll tell me some stories.
I was actually pretty good at school.
I was good. I was always
become
good.
An idiot till after high school.
True. Me here. Same here. My dad would murder me.
I was a good student until high school. I don't know what happened.
That's a whole nother podcast. We're not going to talk about that. So,
I know I had her. Sorry, Miss Grimes. I apologize. But it's been a long time. I'm almost 37 years old, so it's been a while.
Huh? What? 37?
47.
Okay, all right. I was like, man.
Andy, you're not that bad off, are you?
It's 47.
So there's one new company that popped up, one new business that popped up, you know, and I get my hair cut over Cindy Stansel.
Taylor
cuts my hair.
1017.
Salon 1017. They started Wig Chicks. And
that's where I had my head shaving party.
Yes, her partner is Cindy Gilstrap. So those two ladies got together and started this. I mean, it is a much needed business.
It is.
It's such a big help to a lot of different people going through a lot of hard things. I wanted to ask you, I know we came to your head shaving party.
And bought me several head wraps.
Oh, well, it's the least we could do. So, do you advise, or how to you, would someone that's diagnosed and they're going through this hard treatment, would you advise them to do what you did, take the hair off in stages and then shave it? Or is it less traumatic when you have a head full of hair and you start finding clumps of it in there?
I think personally, it's a very personal decision.
Yeah.
And I think personally for me, it was easier to do that.
Okay.
And also, I wanted to do it so that Emmett didn't see me with long hair and then the next day wake up and me be bald and him flip out. Yeah. So we just had fun with it, which, I partied my way all through. We had a bra burning party. We had a head shaving party. We did whatever kind of parties we could come up with, we were doing.
Just making the most of it.
Just making the most of it. I mean, at the end of the day, I could be mad at the world and just go and be sullen about it, but I still had cancer. Yeah. So why not just make the best of it while we had the opportunity? The ladies at the Wig Chicks approached me. I linked up with them somehow. I don't even remember how now. And they hadn't even technically opened yet.
It was brand
and they said,
new.
would you be interested? We thought about doing a head shaving party. Would you be interested? And I was like, heck yeah, I would be interested, And so they had the whole thing set up. I mean, y'all were there. It was so cute. Yeah. They had little cupcakes and drinks and everything. Had me a little boa and a tiara to wear. And it was just really fun. And we actually let everybody at my party shave a little bit of my head.
Yeah, I remember that.
Awesome.
Braden got to do the first big thing, and I was scared he was going to get my ear. I held my ear when he did it, and then Tori did at the end. She finished it up to make sure I didn't look
too.
It was
crazy.
So many people there.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, they're amazing. They helped me get my head wraps. They helped me get my wig. So most people probably never saw me in a wig. At the time of my cancer diagnosis, my grandmother had another stroke and had to go into the nursing home, and we never told her I had cancer. So I wore a hat as long as I could until one day she was like, "Where's your hair?" And I just kind of ignored her and left. And so I was like, I gotta get a wig. So they helped me pick out the perfect wig. Yeah. And the only time I ever wore it was to go see Mama and to Blake's wedding, because I didn't want all of his wedding pictures to have me with this shiny bald head.
Right.
So I wore the wig long enough to do pictures, and then I took it off. I preferred going bald. I really didn't wear head wraps or anything until it got really cold.
Yeah.
So,
outside.
And I remember too, Emmett had got used to you not having any hair.
Yes, he hated the wig.
And then you put the wig on and he just freaked out.
Yeah, he hated the wig.
And I remember some videos on Facebook where y'all would put the wig on his head, and that was the best.
Yeah, he thought that was funny.
He did.
But even now, like, we'll show him pictures of me and Brett and Braden before him when I had long hair. And, say, who is this or who is that? And he'll say, Dad, Bubba. And I'll say, who is this? Mama? No. Because he doesn't know me with long hair.
Long hair.
But he remembers me bald. Because I'll show him a picture of me bald. And I'll say, is this Mama? Yes. That's Mama. But with long hair, he's like, no. I'm like, little brat.
Well, you had the best time watching his videos, watching him run around doing his thing. And
wild.
We were talking about the mashed potatoes, and your mom, he
loves them.
Tootsie's mashed potatoes.
Yeah, Tootsie's mashed potatoes. He can't get enough.
You would be safer pulling a ham bone away from a pit bull than taking Emmett out of his high chair when he's eating Tootsie's potatoes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
we've had to start cooking extra, which, he weighs 40 pounds. He's like a linebacker in a 2-year-old body.
He's going to be big like his dad.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But the mashed potatoes, and chicken and rice.
Yeah,
those are his two.
That's his go. It's
his
staples.
go-tos. Yeah,
man, it's too funny.
Good. Well, look, I know you're super busy and you got a lot of stuff going on, but I really do appreciate you coming in and talking to us and telling your story.
No, thank you for having me.
And we want to try to get this out to as many people as we can, because the information that you shared with us is stuff that I never would have even. I wouldn't. Know where to direct somebody or help somebody, or so everything that you're putting out there, like you said in the very beginning, you went from why me to use me, and I think you're doing an excellent job with it. and we're in your corner, and
thank
we think
you.
you're tougher than a $2 steak.
Well, thank you.
and we will help you any way we can.
Absolutely.
Kind of get this information out, or
make people aware of Lacee's Law.
Yeah.
Well, I just think the biggest thing is educate yourself and don't just take what a doctor tells you for granted.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they've been to school. I know that we trust their opinions, but if something doesn't feel right for you, seek a second opinion, ask questions. I don't Google stuff just because that's a rabbit hole that I can't go down.
Yeah.
I would be on WebMD and my cancer would be back in my finger, or something crazy.
I've always believed you know your body.
Yeah, I think you do too. And I struggle with the chance of recurrence because I know my chance of recurrence is in 3 years. Well, right now I've made it about 1.5 years. Well, there's 3 ladies that I know who were diagnosed around the same time as me who have all 3 had recurrence. We all finished this about the same time. So that's something that I struggle with, but I think it's a normal, healthy struggle. And it's something that don't be afraid to go and talk to somebody about. I mean, it's normal. But you have to remind yourself, you don't wake up every day worrying about a cancer diagnosis. Yeah. So I can't wake up every day worrying about, is my cancer going to be back?
That's
God
right.
has a plan for each and every one of us, and his will be done no matter what we decide we want to happen or not. So know your body, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I found so many women that I talked to, and they said, well, the doctor told me I needed, to do a lumpectomy. Well, do you want to do a lumpectomy? No. Tell them that. Well, they said that's what I need, but is that what you want? It's your body. At the end of the day, it's your body and it's your decision. I chose to go to Piedmont to have my surgery done. Nothing against Dr. Mayfield. I love him. When I went to tell him I was doing my surgery at Piedmont, I told him I felt like we were breaking up. He told me we could still be friends. It was fun. But at Piedmont, they just had an option to do a bilateral mastectomy with immediate reconstruction. And at 30 years old, that's what I wanted.
Sure.
So I educated myself on it, sought out the doctors, had consultations with them, and that's what I decided to do. So at the end of the day, it's your decision, it's your body, it's your health. You have to do what's best for you,
right?
No matter what that may be.
Yeah, I think that's the best advice you can give anybody, for sure.
Yeah, and not just cancer related. I mean, about anything.
Right.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month is never meant so much to me than right now. Right now, I really realize it just.
Thank you. That's because I'm your favorite teacher.
It is.
It sure is.
Hey, and I'll thank you too for Tyler had transferred from school. He went to Pepperell. We'd moved, and he went to Pepperell, and you kind of took him under your wing, and you took care of him.
He was my baby.
Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking care of him. It means a lot to me. So, always. So, well, we're gonna get to the fun part of this.
This makes me nervous.
Don't be nervous. I mean, everybody. If
you can kick cancer's ass, you can handle this.
Yeah, if you can kick cancer's ass,
I can talk about cancer all day long. I don't know what he might have on this random piece of paper.
You can handle. Lacee Landrum.
Oh, that's not good.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
For 10 random questions.
10 random questions.
All right, we're going to give you 10 random questions. You got a yes or no answer. You can go into detail. You have one mulligan. You can say no comment, but you only get one of those. Okay.
Use it wisely.
Use it wisely. Lacee, if you had the world's ear for 30 seconds, what would you say to it?
The world's ear.
The world's ear. If you had the world's attention.
The world's listening.
The world's listening to you.
Be kind to each other. Yeah. I am so sick and tired of all these people always just wanting to fight and hate. Just be kind. Just be human. Just be nice. It's hard. Not that hard.
It's
just
not
be
that
nice.
Hard. Where's somewhere you go that you don't mind waiting?
The cancer center for my appointments.
Okay. Good answer. Good answer. What is the stupidest thing you've ever done on a dare?
I'm not really a dare kind of person.
Nothing?
I'm more of a truth. Give me the truth.
You've never. Nobody's ever dared you to do something that was you later thought, man, that was stupid. What did I do that for?
No, I was a good kid.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna say
I was too scared of anyone in trail. Are you kidding?
I'm going ahead and say that she meant no comment. What is something you enjoy doing that others may seem odd to them?
So something I enjoy doing that may be odd to others. I love going to the foot massage place over behind
No,
Chick-fil-A.
I'm out. That's awful.
No, it's
Nobody's
not
touching
awful.
my Fritos.
Yeah, I'm not keeping the Cheetos in the bag. I'm not
Yeah.
taking
Oh
them
no,
out for anybody.
I would go there literally every day of the week and let them rub my feet.
And Brittany would too. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I get it. All right. What do you think the best thing was before sliced bread?
Or sliced bread, probably fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Okay.
Fried chicken is so good. God, I love it.
All right. One's got to go. Bama football, college softball, or Zorbas.
Sorbus.
Oh,
No, not Zorbas.
I'm getting rid of Bama football. Sorry.
Well, I'm a Bama football fan, so
Sorry about all this disaster here.
yeah, that's not been a real good.
Yeah, it's
Real
terrible.
good picture for me. My brother would appreciate it though. He's a big Auburn fan.
For everyone who
We're
don't
all
know,
in mourning.
everyone who doesn't know, we are in Andy's Auburn man cave.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are you freakishly bad at?
What am I? I'm actually a really bad athlete.
What?
That doesn't even make sense.
I was a really good pitcher.
Okay.
Okay. Pitcher is something you can finesse. It is something you can work on. If you needed me to go play somewhere else or go hit,
The ball was going to find you.
it probably wasn't going to be good. I did not like ground balls. They scared me to death. I did not like playing first base, which is where they always try to put me because I'm tall. I was not about to dig that ball up out of the ground because it might hit me in my face. And in the outfield, I'm slower than a turtle. So,
I would have never guessed you were going to say that.
yeah, I'm not really a good athlete.
You're
I
a
was
good
just
pitcher.
good pitcher.
You're a good pitcher.
Yeah, but I worked really hard at that and took lots of lessons.
Well, that makes
and
sense.
Your technique.
my technique. Yeah, something you can finesse.
I love watching
Being an
these.
athlete, not so much.
I mean, I didn't mean it didn't make sense, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I got you.
I love watching these videos now. They're starting to put them out. These girl softball pitchers are challenging these boys that play football to hit off
Oh,
of
yeah.
them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, it's just making them look
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous. So
Ava did that with some of the Ole Miss baseball team last
did
year.
she really?
Yeah.
Oh, and tell them a little bit about Ava, real quick.
So Ava is one of our best friends. Her parents and my parents have been best friends, so I've been around since she was raised. And she started out being our back girl for our softball team and just kind of getting involved. And she just she is an athlete.
Yeah,
And she plays softball at Ole Miss. She's
she's
a
a
pitcher.
beast. Yeah,
She's a
she
pitcher
is.
for Ole Miss.
That's awesome.
All right, what is the last movie that you saw that scared the complete bejesus out of you?
I'm not really into
Since the-
scary movies.
No.
The Purge.
Yeah, that's too much. That's
But,
too much
but
real
I
life
think
these
that
days.
really scares me because I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
it's
that's,
kind of
that's
what's
what
going
scary
on.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why it bothers me because I could 100%
Yeah.
Yeah.
see that going down.
Okay.
Those are the scariest movies.
Yeah,
What's your jam? What do you
My
listen
jam?
to? What's your go-to?
country,
What's your go-to song?
or it's getting hot in here by Nelly.
Okay. All right.
Love some Nelly.
What about The Man in the Mirror?
Oh, I do like that.
Oh,
I played that a lot in class.
Oh,
I couldn't
there's a
play
little
It's
bit
Hot
of
in
a-
here in class.
I know.
There's a little
Every
bit of
morning,
story.
you-
Every morning
you
we
turn
listen
on
to
your
the man.
playlist.
Yeah.
That was your song
Yeah.
every morning.
Yeah. We did. So when I teach, after I did my little lesson, I would always turn on music because kids
Yeah.
don't want to just listen to
No,
silence.
they don't.
But
Listening to the lights ring.
yeah,
God, it's so
so
bad.
instead, I found a kid-friendly version on Spotify
Yeah.
and made just this huge playlist, and we would just, you
It would
know,
jam out.
just shuffle. And most of the kids had no idea who anybody on there was. Tyler would usually know some of them,
Yeah.
but most of the kids had no idea who any of them were. But Man in the Mirror was one of my go-tos.
That was
and
the
Billie
first
Jean.
one.
Billie
Yeah.
Jean and man. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Last question. What is your favorite thing about being Emmett's mom?
My favorite thing about being his mom, I just love that he's mine. At the end of the day, I can just, as much as he frustrates me and as much as he makes me question my sanity at times, he's mine, and he's always going to be mine. And there's just a love there that you really don't get anywhere else than you do with your own kids.
right.
I've been in Braden's life now for 6 years, and I love Braden like he's my own, and he and I have a great relationship.
Yeah.
But it's just different when it's your child, you know, and the looks he gives, and I know they're mine.
Yeah.
You know, Mom sent me a thing the other day that said, it's hard having to beat the you out of your child. And I thought that is the truth. And he gets it double. He gets for me and Brett.
Yeah.
So,
that's too funny.
Bless his heart.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you for your time. It's some great information to get out there. Is there anything specific, anywhere anybody can go to get any information? Is there any websites that you could give us so we could kind of put up?
Yeah. So, you can always go to AmericanCancerSociety.org. They have the latest and greatest information out there. Locally in Rome, there is Cancer Navigators, which is through Floyd. They will help you once you get diagnosed. And then there's also a nonprofit called Summit Quest Cancer Support Services, and I'm actually on the board there.
Okay.
And we do several different things, outdoor adventures or, acts of kindness, helping cancer patients with whatever they may need when they're going through crisis. But both of those places, I would say the best place for you to start is with your social worker. No matter where you're getting treatment, you're going to have a social worker assigned to you. And don't be afraid to ask them for stuff. That's what they're there for. If you need more information or, you need, I don't know, food or, anything like that, ask your social worker and they'll make it happen for you. But Summit Quest Cancer Support Services, Cancer Navigators, are two good local places that we have here in Rome that are able to help. And the breast center at Floyd,
right?
They're all angels up there. So anytime a woman has any issues, I would highly recommend going there.
Okay.
All right. And for our YouTube listeners, links to all those places will be down in the description.
Yeah, we'll get those links up. Absolutely. So, Lacee, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Take care, everybody.
Thank y'all for listening, being here, and we'll talk to you soon.